大家好，欢迎收看《一打看世界》，一起看世界，我是瓦基。
我是朱古。一打不仅要带大家一起 see the world， 更要用我们的方式说世界的故事。
节目一开始，先来关心南美洲的玻利维亚，来自社会基层的原住民、农民与劳工等群众，9月中从乡间出发，前往首都拉巴斯抗议政府施政不力。但是特别的是，这场抗议行动的发动者是前总统 Evo Morales， 抗议对象则是同党的现任总统。似乎显示 Morales 身为全球第一位原住民国家领袖，又广受基层爱戴情况下，仍然希望能够重新赢回总统大位。我们一起为您深入分析。
玻利维亚前总统 Evo Morales 9月17日发动支持者从乡间出发，前往首都 La Paz， 集结抗议现任总统 Luis Arce 率领的政府。而全国重要道路也有民众封路抗议，响应他们的诉求。这些抗议者主要包括原住民、农民以及劳工等，是 Morales 长期以来的核心支持者。在前往首都的途中，也遭遇 Arce 政府的支持者拦阻，双方爆发零星冲突。
Nosotros estamos realizando una marcha pacífica en nombre de nuestro hermano Evo Morales Jaime para recuperar la democracia, disminuir la inflación. Ya basta de este gobierno corrupto. Señor Luis Arce Catacora, póngase pilas y tome conciencia de lo que está causando. Hace unos instantes usted manda a maleantes, a palomillos a enfrentar aquí con dinamita, con cachorros, con piedras, petardos, a gente que está marchando pacíficamente con niños, mujeres. Eso no se hace, señor presidente.
这波抗议行动反映玻利维亚政局的诡谲。广受社会基层支持的 Morales， 2019年因为违反宪法寻求连任，在军方介入下被迫下台，随后亲自提点同党的 Arce 竞选总统。但2021年 Arce 上任之后，两人渐行渐远，尤其是玻利维亚近几年陷入经济危机，让 Morales 大力抨击 Arce 执政表现。
El salario ha perdido los valores adquisitivos, los asalariados saben muy bien. Y yo que siento, hermanas y hermanos, lamentablemente hay algunas autoridades que nunca han sufrido lo que sufre el pueblo, eso nunca van a sentir cómo se vive. Esa es nuestra diferencia. Entonces ese pueblo boliviano que lucha, a ese pueblo se llama revolucionario. Es un pueblo que tiene convicción revolucionaria, con principios, con valores. Ese pueblo, repito nuevamente, sin dirigentes, por convicción acá, organizados, pacíficamente marchar para hacernos escuchar.
而今年6月，玻利维亚一名将军发动军事政变失败 ，Morales 在事后表示，政变充满不合理之处，暗指政变是 Arce 自导自演，两人之间的冲突浮上台面。面临这次示威抗议 ，Arce 也斥责 Morales 不负责任、不尊重人民选出的政府，甚至出言警告 Morales 会试图发动政变。
Tengo la responsabilidad histórica de denunciar al país y al mundo de lo que puede producirse en los días venideros en Bolivia por irresponsabilidad tuya. Inicia en los próximos días una marcha para pasar luego a bloqueo nacional de caminos que terminará con un intento de golpe de Estado a un gobierno popular. Es algo del que deberás dar cuenta a nuestro pueblo tarde o temprano.
执政党两大山头的纷争下，玻利维亚的民众仍然需要面临严重的生活问题。玻利维亚最重要的出口商品天然气，近年来受到市场价格波动与顾客流失影响，让外汇存底几乎用罄，进口商品严重短缺。而近几个星期肆虐的野火，也让许多农牧土地付之一炬，基本的生计问题让许多民众走上街头。
No somos evistas, no somos arcistas, luchamos por la canasta familiar. Hoy un quintal de arroz, ¿cuánto ha subido? 200%. Hoy no hay diésel, no hay gasolina, no hay dólar. ¿De qué vamos a vivir? Estamos muriéndonos de hambre como pueblos indígenas,
10 años, 20 años, 30 años, 40 años, 50 años, 60 años, 70 años, 80 años, 90 años, 100 años, 200 años, 300 años, 400 años, 500 años, 600 años, 700 años, 800 años, 900 años, 1000 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 añ
玻利维亚将在2025年举行下一届总统大选，预期 Arce 与 Morales 之间的政争可能会越演越烈，包括曾经违宪参选的 Morales 究竟有没有参选资格，也会成为争论焦点。执政党的分裂已经影响政策推行，支持 Morales 的派系在国会中已经投票反对 Arce 政府举债缓解外汇存底问题的方案。在玻利维亚人民面临困难的时刻，政府却陷入空转的危机。
气候变迁让世界各地高温纪录不断创新高，而在巴西的亚马逊河流域，目前在发生史上最严峻的干旱，不仅压缩动物栖息空间，也让世代群居在亚马逊河流域的原住民族人日常生计都受到严重影响。
索里蒙河是巴西亚马逊河主要支流之一，如今水位降至有史以来最低。透过空拍画面，可以清楚看见过去还能通航的河道呈现一片干涸。亚马逊史上最严重干旱正在发生。
Estamos passando pelo leito do Solimões. Toda essa área que a gente vê de areia, na verdade, é o leito maior do mundo. Esse é o segundo ano consecutivo de grandes secas na Amazônia. Isso é um fato inédito.
亚马逊地区高温打破纪录，因气候变迁和滥可滥伐造成的干旱、野火灾情频传。
Estamos passando por ano crítico. Ano passado já foi o ano mais quente nos últimos 150 mil anos. Esse ano, vários meses bateram o recorde do ano passado. A gente tem visto enchentes, não só no Brasil, no sul do Brasil, mas ao redor do mundo, secas e muito fogo aqui na Amazônia, no Cerrado, no Pantanal, mas ao redor do mundo também. As mudanças climáticas não são mais uma coisa a se preocupar no futuro daqui a 10 ou 20 anos. Elas chegaram, e chegaram com uma força muito mais intensa do que a gente estava esperando.
居民的独木舟滞留在沙洲上，索里蒙河附近的特菲湖也因为逐渐干涸，去年就已经造成200多只淡水海豚死亡。保育团体来到特菲湖的这一天，又遇见一只搁浅奄奄一息的海豚宝宝。前所未有的干旱，无疑是一场生态浩劫。
Nós temos encontrado vários animais. Semana passada nós tivemos uma média de 1 por dia. Nós não ainda estamos associando com mudança da temperatura da água, temperatura excessiva, mas a exacerbação da proximidade entre as populações humanas, principalmente pescadores, e os animais, porque o ambiente todo está muito restrito, né? O canal tem 2 metros de profundidade, talvez 100 metros de largura no máximo, e todos os animais estão concentrados nessa área.
海豚搁浅潮是对生态的严重警讯，而对当地居民来说，更是已经威胁到生计、生活陷入困境。
Está prejudicando muito também dessa seca. Porque de madrugada a gente não pode chegar, né? Olha o fumaceiro que está no mundo, olha como é que está, a gente não enxerga nada.
Não, ninguém imaginava que essa seca ia chegar rápido assim, não. Nem imaginava que ela ia passar do ano passado. Ninguém imaginava, não. Achava que ela ia ficar por aí e não ia para frente mais, não.
A água é tudo, né? Tipo assim, ela faz parte do nosso dia a dia, né? É o nosso meio de transporte por água, né? A gente que mora em flutuante, sem a água a gente não é ninguém.
早在去年10月，巴西亚马逊地区就经历过一次干旱，直接影响到当地原住民族人生活起居。他们没想到的是，今年情况更加严重。谈及大自然的反扑，让当地族群领袖感慨极深。
Que o mundo precisa de também ouvir a natureza, não só ouvir os seres humanos, mas ouvir a natureza, o que ela está representando hoje para nós. Ela está pedindo socorro e nós não estamos nem aí para o que está acontecendo, né? Muitos estão queimando, muitos estão fazendo suas plantações e não estão olhando para o futuro. Como que será o futuro se nós não preservar hoje? Como será o futuro dos nossos filhos, dos nossos netos, das nossas terras indígenas, se nós não preservar, se todas o planeta não se preocupar em preservar o mundo que está hoje em chamas, está em fogo hoje, está fumaçando em todo lugar. E aí, como que nós vamos viver?
干旱、洪水与野火灾情频繁上演，生态浩劫与人类开发行为环环相扣。世代群居于亚马逊河流域的原住民族首当其冲。然而，在可见的未来里，若无法痛定思痛，对气候变迁拿出具体因应策略，人类全体恐怕终将在大自然反扑中无一幸免。
1年1度的慕尼黑啤酒节9月下旬盛大开幕，吸引来自世界各地的啤酒爱好者。今年亮点之一的无酒精啤酒，更满足了健康意识提升的年轻族群。而这次啤酒节维安升级，也期盼带给民众及游客最安全的节庆体验。
慕尼黑市长迪特尔赖特敲开第一桶酒，也敲开众所瞩目1年1度慕尼黑啤酒节的序幕。园区大门开放，大批民众拔腿就跑，大家都想夺得头一杯。第189届为期2周的慕尼黑啤酒节在9月21日盛大开幕。
Also ich bin seit 6 Uhr da und ich freue mich auf die schöne Stimmung im Hacker, aufs gute Bier und auf eine gute Wiesn.
Oktoberfest 慕尼黑啤酒节起源于1810年，当时是为庆祝王室婚礼，举办了一场赛马活动。而随着时间推移，这个活动逐渐扩展，原本仅在草坪上的庆祝活动变得更加丰富，从赛马演变成设有摊位和游乐设施的大型民间节日。来自世界各地的啤酒爱好者在会场中觥筹交错，体验最在地的德国美食美酒。服务生大显身手，一次端起10几杯啤酒，也让游客叹为观止。
Lots of beer, lots of pretzels, German sausage, lots of fun. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
除了各式各样的啤酒外，啤酒节第2天的游行也是亮点之一。数百名身着传统服饰的巴伐利亚人，在乐队和马车的随同下，浩浩荡荡进场，骄傲展现民族文化。男性穿着短皮裤搭配格子衬衫，高筒羊毛袜和带羽毛的帽子；女性穿着紧身连身裙，细节精致，围裙前面系有蝴蝶结。传统上，如果蝴蝶结系在左边，代表着单身；而系在右边，则代表已婚。
Es ist ein jahrelanger Traum, schon immer diesen Trachten- und Schützenzug mal live zu sehen. Und einfach die Pferdegespanne, die ganzen Trachten und Schützen, alles ist einfach wunderbar und wir freuen uns sehr drauf.
随着近几年来德国年轻人的健康意识抬头，啤酒节的菜单上多了一种品项，提供无酒精啤酒。无酒精啤酒正逐渐成为市场新宠，尤其在世界最古老的酿酒厂 WITBN， 无酒精啤酒已经占了总产量的10%。
We think that it's getting more and more popular these days. That the people are, unfortunately, I have to say that as a brewer, unfortunately drink less beer, but we want to keep on brewing beer, want to have beer for the people, and want to produce the beer always for the people.
相对于啤酒消费量下滑，无酒精啤酒需求却稳步增长。今年慕尼黑啤酒节上，无酒精啤酒成为新选择。超过16天的庆祝活动中，18个帐篷中几乎都提供了这款饮品。
Sometimes people feel like they have more fun with alcohol, which is not a good thing because you can also have fun without alcohol. So if you like to drink alcohol-free beer, I think that's definitely an option for you. And shouldn't, if you want to come and drink alcohol-free beer, nobody will judge you.
不过日前在德国西部城市发生砍人惨案，人心惶惶，德国警方严阵以待，便衣警察也埋伏现场。主办单位在啤酒节历史上首次在安检设施加装金属探测器，但目前表示啤酒节没有受到具体威胁。
Die Wiesn ist genauso sicher oder unsicher wie der öffentliche Raum ist, allerdings mit der Maßgabe, dass wir hier Kameraüberwachung haben, dass wir hier Zugangskontrollen haben, dass ein Zaun drumherum ist, dass wir mehrere tausend Polizisten in Uniform, in Zivil haben, mehrere tausend Sicherheitskräfte. Und ich glaube, das zeigt schon, dass die Wiesn ein sehr, sehr sicherer öffentlicher Raum ist. Ich würde behaupten,
为了确保活动安全，今年主办方强化了安保措施，增加金属探测器与警力部署。尽管啤酒消费量有所下滑，慕尼黑啤酒节的热情依旧不减。游客们沉浸在欢快的氛围中，共同举杯庆祝这一历史悠久的传统节日。
一打看世界10月1日起连续3周，每周二晚间10点推出双10友邦大使专访系列。本周推出第1集，下一段回来一打 Specials 主题特写，专访中华民国台湾在加勒比海地区邦交国贝里斯驻台大使毕坎蒂，分享 Taiwan Can Help 的外交邦谊。
Welcome back to Ida Sailor World. Since 1989, Belize, a vibrant and diverse nation in Central America, has upheld a strong and enduring relationship with Taiwan. As one of the few countries that officially recognize the Republic of China, Belize and Taiwan enjoy a close partnership marked by mutual support and cooperation.
This relationship spans various domains, including diplomatic engagement, economic collaboration, and cultural exchange. Despite our profound friendship, shared values, and strong democratic systems, many people in Taiwan remain unfamiliar with Belize and Latin America.
Through IDA Specials, we will delve into Belize's diplomatic relations with Taiwan, sustainable development initiatives in Belize, the significance of Belize to Taiwan, and how both countries can collaborate to support resilient democracies in both regions. We are honored to welcome today's distinguished guest, the Ambassador of Belize to the Republic of China, Taiwan, Candy Spitz.
Greetings, viewers. I am Candy Spitz, the resident ambassador of Belize to the Republic of China, Taiwan. I am also the Secretary of the Diplomatic Corps, and I am the non-resident ambassador of Belize to Japan. Thank you all for inviting me to be on your show today.
Ambassador, could you please briefly introduce Belize and the current diplomatic relations between Belize and Taiwan?
Certainly. Belize is a multicultural country in Central America with a population of a little less than 500,000 people. We are the only country that has English as our official language in Central America. We are bordered by Mexico to the north, Guatemala to the west and to the south, as well as Honduras and the Caribbean Sea to the east. But although we are geographically located in Central America, we are very much a part of the Caribbean as we share histories and cultures and political organizations with the peoples of the Caribbean. In terms of our natural resources and our national and natural features, Belize is home to the largest barrier reef in the Western Hemisphere, and a part of that reef system is the monumental Great Blue Hole. We are also home to the first jaguar preserve in the world. We are home to spectacular and historic Maya ruins or Maya temple. We are home to the renowned rainforest and just to monumental and vast ethnic and cultural diversity. With respect to Taiwan, Taiwan and Belize established diplomatic relations in 1989, and since then, both countries have been committed to augment that relationship in areas such as education, healthcare, agriculture, trade and investment, and social and infrastructural development. In terms of trade between Belize and Taiwan and other countries in Southeast Asia, Belize occupies a geostrategic location because being a member of Central America, we have access to the Central American market, of 190 million people, as well as being a part of the Caribbean. We have access to the Caribbean market of over 45 million people. But through treaty as well, we have duty-free access to the North American market of Mexico, the United States, and Canada. So we create great possibilities and opportunities for investors here in Taiwan and other countries that are seeking nearshoring, outsourcing possibilities within this region.
Ambassador Pete, how would you assess the importance of this region from a global perspective? And why should Taiwanese society pay closer attention to Latin America and the Caribbean?
As a matter of international law, a sine qua non of recognition as an independent country is recognition by other nations. And as you have rightfully asserted, half of Taiwan's diplomatic allies is located in the Latin American and Caribbean region. And these are countries that advocate for Taiwan's international legitimacy. So it would follow logically that this region should be of great significance to Taiwan. Additionally, Taiwan has been losing diplomatic allies within the region. And so to pay closer attention to the region could create a counterbalancing force for Taiwan against other forces of influence in the region. And furthermore, our region is replete with natural resources. Belize is replete with natural resources. So to pay closer attention to the region could create diversified trading relationships as well as diverse trading routes for Taiwan in the region.
Ambassador, please share with the Taiwanese public the actions Belize has been taking to support Taiwan on the global stage.
Sure. Many of Belize's foreign policy positions on Taiwan have been documented by the media. However, in March of 2022, the House of Representatives of Belize adopted unanimously the motion to support Taiwan's inclusion and meaningful participation in international organizations such as the United Nations, the World Health Organization, the International Criminal Police Organization, the International Civil Aviation Organization, the United Nations Framework Conference on Climate Change. Additionally, in August of that year, when the then Speaker of the House of Representatives in the United States, Nancy Pelosi's visit to Taiwan, and the PRC responded with increased activities in the Taiwan Strait, Belize issued a press release calling for a maintenance of the status quo in the Taiwan Strait, as well as reiterated its recognition of Taiwan as an independent country. In April of 2023, as you may be familiar, Honduras severed diplomatic ties with Taiwan in favor of the PRC. And a week later, the then president of Taiwan, President Tsai Ing-wen, visited Belize. And during that visit, Belize reaffirmed its bilateral ties with Taiwan. And annually, ministers of government, parliamentarians, the Prime Minister of Belize in his remarks at the inauguration of President Lai Ching-te would advocate for Taiwan's meaningful participation, inclusion in the international organizations such as the United Nations.
Ambassador, could you kindly share how your role as ambassador has contributed to increase Taiwanese people's understanding of Belize and strengthen the relationship between Taiwan and Belize?
generally speaking, the Embassy of Belize here in the Republic of China, Taiwan, has been committed to engage in initiatives and events to promote people-to-people understanding between the peoples of Belize and the peoples of Taiwan, as well as cultural exchanges. Because we are of the view that for any relationship to work, particularly a diplomatic relationship, there has to be understanding between both countries. And some of the initiatives that we have engaged include delivering presentations and lectures at educational institutions from elementary school to university to expose Taiwanese to Belize, to who are Belizeans, to our history, to our cultures, to our society. We also engage other cultural activities and events here in Taiwan, such as the Taiwan Lantern Festival, the travel fairs, the reading festivals, towards that end of promoting people-to-people understanding. Additionally, we also have Taiwanese who traveled to Belize just recently, maybe a week or two ago, a group of 50 youth ambassadors traveled from Taiwan to Belize, and that creates great opportunities and platforms for them to be exposed to Belizean history, societies, peoples, as well as to expose Belizeans to Taiwanese. And we also have a number of Belizean students who travel to Taiwan to study annually, and they serve as cultural ambassadors unto themselves, right? Introducing their classmates, their teachers, their friends to their country through their interaction with them. And I believe these create great opportunities for us to understand each other and to eliminate some of those misconceptions and misunderstandings.
Ambassador, could you share the challenges faced by the indigenous communities in Belize and how they preserve their cultures and heritage?
Similar to the indigenous peoples of Taiwan, the indigenous peoples of Belize, particularly the Mayans, dwell in rural and remote villages that oftentimes do not have easy access to modern utilities, in some instances electricity, in some instances telephones, in some instances computers. They also don't have easy access to modern infrastructure, such as developed roads. And many of these problems are compounded by the effects of climate change, such as increased weather conditions, extreme weather conditions, such as hurricanes and flooding and wildfires, which pose immediate threats to those communities that rely on agriculture, that rely on the land, rely on rivers. Even their food security comes under threat. In addition, because of their remote locations, many of the children, the indigenous children, don't have easy access to educational opportunities. There is the issue of the language barrier, and in some instances, even the curricula, the educational curricula may not be as culturally relevant to their reality.
So is there any policies, governmental policies to help the indigenous people, Mayan?
They have been some negotiations over land access and land preservation among the Mayan communities. And I believe that they have been significant developments in that regard, and the conversation continues. But I think that has been one of the greatest concerns of the Mayan people, how to preserve what they designate as their sacred land, as their communal land. But as I've said, there has been ongoing negotiations between the Mayan communities and the state.
Ambassador, could you please share with us what Belize's sustainable challenges are and how Belize and Taiwan have cooperated in sustainable development?
Global warming, as we know, creates rising temperature, creates sea level rise, creates ocean acidification, creates extreme weather conditions. And all of these have deleterious effects for a low-lying coastal country such as Belize. With the melting of glaciers from the colder regions of the world, as well as the warming of the ocean, all create sea level rise, which erodes the coastal areas of Belize, erodes our beaches, erodes valuable land, which can have significant effects on our tourism industry, which is a critical industry to the economy of Belize. But importantly, the barrier reef as well as the mangroves that are also degraded because of the high sea level rise serve to protect our coast from the effects of these extreme weather conditions, serve to protect our coast from saltwater intrusion into our rivers and our lake. And finally, the extreme weather conditions, such as hurricanes, also have deleterious effects on Belize. Because of its geographical location, Belize is situated in a path that is susceptible to hurricanes, and the effects of hurricanes, whether they hit Belize directly or they hit our neighboring countries, we are always prone by flood all over the country. And Belize and Taiwan have been collaborating on their issue, on Belize's issue with flooding, and they implemented early detection flood warning system, right? Which helps Belize to do just that, to detect early the threats of flood, as well as to be prepared for flooding in the country. But I would suggest another collaboration that Belize and Taiwan could have would be in the restoration of our mangroves, right? That serve to help protect the coast, as well as expansive drainage system for the entire country that would help to mitigate the effects of flooding.
Taiwan and Belize have also worked closely together on women's empowerment initiatives. Ambassador Pitts, could you please share how Taiwan and Belize have collaborated to promote women's empowerment and gender equality? Furthermore, how have you contributed to these efforts throughout your diplomatic career?
I will answer it with a short story. So I arrived in Taiwan in March of 2021. In April of 2021, I presented my letter of credence to the then president of Taiwan, President Tsai Ing-wen, as the newly appointed ambassador of Belize to the Republic of China, Taiwan. And in that conversation, President Tsai informed me of one of her administration's foreign policy objectives for Latin American and Caribbean countries, Belize being one, which was to invest more in the empowerment of women in this region. That was April. In October of 2021, Belize and Taiwan signed a letter of intent on enhancing the economic empowerment of women in the Latin America and Caribbean region post-COVID-19. And since then, both countries have witnessed significant achievements within the framework of this project. There have been a series of programs to train women in Belize on how to on fiscal management, as well as how to start, own, and operate small businesses. They have also received counseling on how to sustain those small businesses. And when President Tsai visited in April of 2023, she had the opportunity to meet some of the trainees of these programs, as well as to witness firsthand some of the results and the benefits of the investments in the economic empowerment of Belizean women. To the second part of the question, in my capacity as ambassador, I have helped to contribute to these efforts through some of the initiatives that the Embassy of Belize in Taiwan spearheaded, such as the Women's Month and the Cultural Month. And for both initiatives, we commissioned from some of these women, these same entrepreneurs, their products and their artifacts, which we, one, had on display, and two, we gifted to some women in foreign affairs, the international community, and even the president of Taiwan, President Tsai Ing-wen, the then president, in commemoration of International Women's Day. We also had on display profiles of these women to highlight some of the contributions that they make to the Belizean society within their various capacities as mothers, as teachers, public servants, government leaders, to celebrate these women and to help empower them as well.
It's really good to hear that.
And one last question. Belize and Taiwan share a robust and enduring friendship grounded in common values and principles such as democracy and civil liberties. And how can our two nations collaborate to advance and strengthen democracy?
I am of the view that both Belize and Taiwan can collaborate to strengthen democracy by perhaps forming alliances in the Southeast Asia region, as well as the Latin American Caribbean region, alliances that would help to advocate for democratic reforms, human rights, adherence to the rule of law. They can also collaborate and invest in cultural diplomacy and other exchange programs where we can have more Taiwanese traveling to Belize and Belizean traveling to Taiwan to create a network of democratic leaders that can continue to advocate for shared values within their respective regions. And finally, both countries can also collaborate on achieving some of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, particularly those goals that intersect on the topic of democratic governance, particularly goal number 16 that has an emphasis on peace, justice, and strong institution.
Yeah, I believe that democracy is a very precious thing that we need to protect. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you very much, Ambassador Pitts, for accepting today's interview.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for the invitation.
Thank you.
It was my pleasure.
Let's take a break. And for more stories from Ita See the World, please stay tuned.
苗栗后龙镇新港社道卡斯族人9月举办1年1度的千田祭。下一段回来，1WBeyond带你一起来关注。苗栗后龙新港社道卡斯族人9月举行1年1度的千田祭，让台湾社会大众知道道卡斯的文化并没有在历史中消失。今天的1WBeyond首先一起来关注这则新闻，接下来把时间交给英语主播 Jugu。
It's October 1st. You are watching 1WBeyond. I'm Jugu.
Xingang community in Miaoli County held their annual harvest ritual on September 14th. Xingang is the only Daogas community that preserves the custom of the harvest ritual. It includes offerings to the ancestors and a food race called mata in the morning and a main ceremony in the evening, when ancestors are greeted with flags and traditional songs are sung. The revitalization of this traditional custom has helped raise the profile of the Daogas people and made the public aware that their culture has not vanished into history.
On the morning of the harvest ritual, the Daogas people of Xingang in central Taiwan walked to the ancestral grounds by the Great Pond to make offerings to the ancestors, as well as to invite the ancestral spirits to the ceremony that would be held in the evening. This marks the start of this year's harvest ritual.
按照我们的传统，就是祖灵祭在这里。那我们要迁田祭，都会恭请我们所有的道卡斯的祖灵啊。晚上回来就是我们要迁田祭，祭祖之后啊，所有男丁用跑的回去到部落里面啊。这个是一个传统的一个项目。
After offerings to the ancestral spirits, the men of the indigenous community must all run back to the village. In the past, this was a symbol of masculinity and honor. Now the custom has been ritualized as a foot race known as mata. The first 3 men to reach the village will receive a certificate and a cash prize. The most prominent feature of the harvest ritual in the Xingang community is the 3 flags that greet the ancestral spirits. This year, a young community member has returned to carry the flag, hoping to pass on his cultural heritage.
那第一次尝试背的时候，当然会觉得说这个任务真的不简单。当然，我自己身为族人，我也想说，那我当然义无反顾，也来回家乡来参与这个活动，这样子。
这个路跑活动还是说把那一些活动有没有都蛮有意义的，就是说让外界的人知道说，我们道卡斯族的存在。
The Daogas people live mostly in the lowlands of central Taiwan, so their culture has been heavily influenced by that of the Han settlers. The harvest ritual customs were nearly lost and were only revived in 2002. However, the unique practices like the ritual flag have made the harvest ritual a prominent local event. The ritual is also in the process for registration as an intangible cultural heritage of Miaoli County.
去年、前年已经完成了那个文字调查的成果报告，苗栗县的文管局的文资科，那他们今年就是会直接到现场来做现场，来评估说，新港社的迁田祭是不是可以登记为无形文化资产。
The Daogas people of Xingang continue to hold the harvest ritual every year as they work to revitalize their culture. Their efforts not only bring the Daogas people to wider public awareness, but also contribute to more community members proudly identifying as Daogas.
This year marks the 70th relocation anniversary of the old Jadavus village in Pingtung County. To honor their ancestor and preserve the cultural and historical context of the old village, the Jadavus branch held a route-seeking event. With the help of Pingtung University, they mapped each household so that future generations can always find their way home.
The Jadavus and route-seeking event gathered people from Laiyin, Yiling, and Danling villages, all of whom trace their origins back to the old Jadavus village. As the 70th anniversary of the village relocation approached, the community hoped that through the route-seeking event, they could not only honor their ancestors, but also pass the culture down to the next generation.
每一次都会来啊，那这个活动非常好啊，也让我们了解到说我们这里的文化，还有也来看一下。 我们祖先住的地方，
最主要的目的就是我们要联合来一体系的，然后再把过去我们的小朋友曾经没有上来过的，然后告诉我们后代，我们以前的先祖曾经在这个地方生活过。
接下来还有200多户还没有来领的哦，可以来这边。
The National Science and Technology Council Humanistic Innovation and Social Practice Project by Pingtung University has been assisting the Jadavus village with exploration. mapping, and cultural investigations since last year. Each household in the Ainayanan and Zajiangsan settlements was documented and assigned a number, enabling every person to find their way home.
一路走来，我们已经从去年测量到现在，我们希望今年的迁村70年，大家都可以找得到自己的家屋，所以我们很努力的去整理。然后我们也是用的，就是每一户就是可以透过资料，然后去找自己的家屋，然后就是我们都有编号。
我觉得很好，就是让每个我们部落的原住民都可以了解说自己的遗址在哪里，然后祖先，然后部落的家，然后让我们去认识就来一部落，就是整个就是从那个祖先那边留下来的每一个就是点滴吧，就会觉得很真实，就是以前原来大家都是这样过生活的。
Despite the poor weather, the participants pressed on through wind and rain, clearing weeds and trees until each ancestral home was revealed. They prayed in front of their ancestral homes, hoping that the culture, spirit, and life of Jaravu's community would continue to thrive.
The traditional archery champion of 2024 Taoyuan Mayor's Cup was held recently. 123 teams from all over Taiwan gathered in Taoyuan, some traveling from Pingdong down the south, some crossed the mountains from Shilin, Hualien early in the morning, all hoping to achieve their personal bests and compete for the high prize money.
The archers stood in a line, eyes focused on the target. The 2024 Taoyuan Indigenous Peoples Game National Traditional Archery Championship of the Mayor's Cup grandly commenced, with 123 teams and 369 archers from all over Taiwan, undeterred by the long journey, participating in the event.
我是凌晨3点上来的，因为12点的时候我就在想，怎么外面好像有雨声，然后又打雷这样子，然后又看一下那个路况。 有稍微的落实，这样大家各有各的兴趣，就是一起玩，就是可以互相切磋，然后互相比赛。
这个项目的运动都已经在村庄部落里面是蛮普遍的，也在慢慢的在往各个部落方面去更推广啊，蛮支持这个传统射箭的运动啊，希望哪里有比赛都希望都能去参与。
As more and more people get involved in traditional archery, the cultural heritage is beginning to shine in urban areas. The city government has also promised to integrate sports venues in Taoyuan and provide quality archery fields in the future.
活动本身不只是运动，而且是希望原民文化的传承所以意义特别不一样。也许在传统射箭之外我们的正式的这个奥运的射箭比赛里面呢也许会有更多的我们的原民的选手出现。那未来的比赛的场地我们也会有更多的练习场开辟出来。
10 years into the traditional archery competition, Deputy Mayor Minju Wang stated that next year's National Indigenous Peoples Game will include traditional archery as an official event, hoping that archers will continue to refine their skills and ensure the thriving development of traditional archery.
最近，美国纽约市的一个街区出现了由100头大象雕像组成的街头展览。这项名为“大象迁徙”的展览，展示了由来自印度南部近200位原住民艺术家手工打造的大象雕塑，尺寸从幼象到成年大象都有。 每一座雕像呢，都是根据实际生活在印度南部咖啡种植园的野生大象而制作。展览的目的在启发人类与身边的各种自然生物和谐相处。而这些大象雕像呢，也提供义卖，所有的收益都会捐给专注保育工作的非政府组织。我是瓦吉，我是朱古，祝您平安，下周再会。